Good morning, Australia. Hello to all of our Sunrise early birders. We have a big show ahead and would love to hear from you.
Yeah, send us a photo. We want to see a selfie of you having a cuppa, watching sunrise. So grab your favourite mug, make your cup of tea or your coffee or your hot water with lemon or whatever you're doing. Snap a picture and send it through. We'll roll them out later.
Yeah, good on you. But first, to some breaking news in Melbourne. Police are investigating after a suspicious fire damaged multiple businesses northwest of the CBD overnight. Let's go live to Andrew McCormack, who's there. Andrew, dozens of fireys battled the blaze.
Shervo, residents nearby have described it as like a bomb going off just after midnight last night, and this is the aftermath. This jiu-jitsu gym and a Genesis Health and Fitness on the top level there of this three-storey warehouse here, absolutely completely destroyed. You can see just the black and charred remains. A lot of the gym equipment inside there completely melted, and this is a targeted attack. It's not sure whether or not the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym or the Genesis Fitness Health Club was the target, but only on Tuesday morning, a Genesis gym in Taylors Lakes, about 20 minutes west of here in the western suburbs of Melbourne, was also targeted. So potentially there is a link between here and some other fire bombings previously in Melbourne. We'll get the latest from police and fireys throughout the morning. Luckily, no one injured at the time, but this is going to be a damage bill that is large in its probably almost $1 million worth of damage, you'd say, behind it, with the equipment and a couple of businesses completely destroyed in this firebombing.
Yeah, we'll stay on that story. Thank you, Macca. Here's Nat.
Chris Bowen's travel bill is under the spotlight this morning after the Climate Change Minister missed a very important topic at his National Press Club address. Live to Jasmine Turlings in Canberra. Talk us through this bill, Jasmine.
Well, yes, good morning, Nat. It racks up to almost $345,000 in travel expenses over the past financial year, according to reports out this morning. Now, some of that detail was released overnight by the Parliamentary Independent Expenses Authority, and we can see from just April to June this year that Mr Bowen and his staff racked up more than $41,000 on a 6-day trip to Germany and Singapore in June, and more than $45,000 on yet another trip in May. That was a 6-day trip to Denmark, Finland and Singapore. Now, critics of Mr Bowen say he often uses these international trips to spruik the country's net zero ambitions. But interestingly, that was the one glaring omission from his almost hour-long National Press Club address yesterday. Instead, he used the speech to announce reforms into more rooftop solar for commercial properties in a bid to help the country reach its 82% renewable energy target by 2030. Now, that's currently making up half the grid. Nat.
OK, thank you, Jasmine.
Let's get some more news. Here's Mon.
Shervo, Nat, thank you. Good morning. A search will continue this morning for a missing man lost in waters south of Brisbane. Search and rescue located the boat of 83-year-old Acacia Ridge man after he went missing around midday on Wednesday. The man was expected to return to his car and trailer by 3 p.m. A land, sea and air search found Mr Talima's 15-foot tinny overnight, but have yet to locate him. Well, Queensland's outback town of Charleville has been sent into lockdown following a suspected siege. Police declared an emergency zone after reports of an assault at a property around 6 o'clock. Officers were reportedly searching for a person of interest believed to be armed. Residents were told to stay indoors and avoid the area. The lockdown lasted for almost 8 hours before being lifted around 2 o'clock this morning. To some breaking news from Melbourne overnight. A young teenage boy has died after being hit by a car north of the CBD. The 13-year-old was struck by a car at Roxburgh Park around 7 p.m. Paramedics treated the boy, but tragically he died at the scene. Both the driver and passenger of the car were uninjured. Meanwhile, a luxury car has gone flying into the side of a house in Adelaide's northeast overnight. Emergency crews were called to the College Park property where they found a Tesla on its side against the home. 3 people were trapped inside the vehicle before being freed by rescuers. All passengers were taken to hospital, with one person believed to have serious injuries. Fresh failures have been revealed at Queensland's trouble-plagued forensic laboratory, with 900 DNA statements back under review. Live now to Anna McGraw, who's in Brisbane. Now, Anna, good morning to you. Information is believed to have been wrongly recorded.
Yeah, good morning, Mon. Well, just when we thought Queensland's embattled DNA lab was turning a corner, these fresh failings were uncovered when someone was giving evidence on the stand in a Queensland court. Now, more than 900 written statements provided to police and public prosecutors are being reviewed from the past 3 years. Now, what these errors entail includes wrong file numbers, dates and times, all the way through to the likelihood percentage that someone is or isn't an offender in this case. Now, this could be detrimental to hundreds of criminal cases, given that these documents are heavily relied upon by lawyers in court, particularly during trials, to convince a jury whether someone is guilty or not. Now, the state government has invested $37 million into the DNA lab following findings in 2021 of failures with the actual DNA itself. Now, though, these new findings this morning are really concerning, particularly for those families and victims of crime. This could be affecting hundreds of criminal cases here in Queensland.
OK, thanks very much, Anna. Two Iranian women's footballers who made world headlines for defying Tehran are now Australian citizens. The geopolitical stoush began when they refused to sing the Islamic Republic's national anthem at the Women's Asian Cup this year. As their teammates left the tournament, they defected, remaining in Australia on humanitarian visas. Months after being branded wartime traitors, they now call Australia home after being granted citizenship at a ceremony in Brisbane. Well, New South Wales driver's licence holders will soon have their photos shared nationally in the latest crackdown on organised crime. Premier Chris Minns is set to announce plans today that it would link driver's licence and photo card images to a national database to help improve facial recognition. The move will reportedly help protect from identity theft, of which 1 in 4 Australians are victims of every year. Investigations are underway into Sydney Airport after a shocking near miss of 2 planes last week. Let's go live to Sam Payne, who's at Sydney Airport. Sam, good morning to you. This was very close. There he is. We seem to be having some problems hearing Sam. We'll go back to him a little later. Let's head overseas now, and tragedy has struck a football game in Thailand after a lightning bolt killed 1 player and injured 12 others. Shocking video captures the moment that lightning strikes the ground next to the running players, a 24-year-old unable to escape the bolt. He couldn't be revived, with other impacted players taken to hospital with burns. A Knighton healthcare worker is being investigated for wrongfully accessing Crows legend Tony Modra's medical records. 8 other workers are currently under investigation, with 3 for inappropriate access to files after a truck accident left 57-year-old Modra fighting for life. Mr Modra was seriously injured in the crash near Victor Harbour in June. He's now on the mend, recently posting that he's recovering well from the horrifying incident. Well, the battle continues to get Brisbane ready to host the 2032 Olympic Games as fresh concerns around the athletes' security come to light. 5 lodging towers will be built for around 10,000 Olympians and 5,000 Paralympians, one slated for right above the exhibition train station, posing a potential security threat to the athletes. The Queensland Government is hoping to keep trains running to the station during the Games. The station is a main access point to Victoria Park's Brisbane Stadium and National Aquatic Centre. Kayakers off Byron Bay have had the experience of a lifetime with a pod of humpback whales swimming below them near Wattego's beach. 8 whales joined the guided tour, showing off the very best of what Australia has to offer, breaching the surface. The majestic mammals typically reach between 14 to 17 metres in length, putting on a show never to be forgotten. Well, let's go back to those investigations at Sydney Airport after a shocking near miss of 2 planes. Sam Payne is at Sydney Airport. Sam, this was very close for comfort for passengers.
Yeah, good morning, Mon. Well, it can only be described as a terrifyingly close call. Now, it's been revealed that this occurred last Monday. Now, a Boeing 737 had just landed from New Zealand. It was taxiing across to the international terminal, and it was granted by air traffic control permission to cross a runway. But on that runway was a Dash 8 jet that's just landed from Canberra. Now, they were on track for a collision course, but just before they collided, the air traffic control noticed again, ordering the Boeing 737 to stop. Now, together, both those planes can hold 200 people, incredibly close, and it's now under investigation by the Air Transport Safety Bureau. Sydney Airport released a statement essentially saying they are assisting with the investigation and providing all information needed. There's not much else they can provide at this time, but very scary for these unassuming passengers. It could have gone so wrong and just a routine landing. Mon?
Yeah, a couple of hundred passengers there. Sam Payne at Sydney Airport, thank you. Well, having a dog minder or someone to watch over your furry friend when you're out can be expensive, right? So one family has found a very cost-effective solution. This dachshund had a little separation anxiety and was afraid of being left home alone. So cue this creative solution. A mannequin dressed in the head of the household's clothes, just propped up in the living room on the couch. It worked.
That's
The
cute.
pacified pooch then slept on the mannequin's lap, was very happy and relaxed.
And kisses?
Look at that.
Nice. And they go, oh, he's quiet.
Who would have thought that would have worked?
I know. Just when we think that dogs are the smartest animals on the planet.
Or is this a reflection of how lazy we've become? We can just put a mannequin there like we do, Netflix and chill, or sunrise and chill.
To Mon's point, wouldn't you think the dog would notice? Obviously not.
But it's a sort of not a very nice thing to have to store in between times, is it? You know what I mean? You don't want to put it in the cupboard.
In the cupboard, hun.
Yeah. Someone goes to use the coat.
Out on the lawn with the lawnmower.
Awkward.
Pretend like you're mowing the lawn too.
Yeah.